Hello everybody, I hope you guys are keeping well. So this is the second video as I promised, and today we'll discuss the question answers of the poem From a Railway Carriage, and then we'll go through a couple of writing tools. So let's just get started. Um, why don't you go on page number 12 in your book, and we'll discuss the question answers, and I'm going to give you a word limit that will help you to make your own notes. So section A says that you will listen to the poem once more. So because as you have access to this audio clip on your Google Classroom app. So the first question says, what does the rhythm sound like? Remember, it's a travel poem, and the poet is sitting in a train. So how does it feel when you are traveling in a train? So just write that in one or two lines, as in what was the mood, what was the atmosphere about it. The second line says, what is the imagery that you get from these lines? What is the concept, and how can you just picturize this experience of the poet while he's traveling in a poem? So you can mention whatever was how he started the journey, and what are the things that he experienced, what are the things that he people that he saw, and different forms of nature that he saw while he was traveling, and his experience when he saw that small boy. Because now you're in higher classes, so there will be an instance where you have to repeat questions, but so just give a gist of whatever was picturized in the poem in 50 words, 50 words. And the third question says, does the rhythm add anything to the imagery? So I think yes, because the poem is set in a train. So the sound of the train, the sound of the railway tracks, the sound of the whistle, everything contributes a lot to the atmosphere in which the poet is traveling, and on top of that, the experience that he is sharing, of the things and people that he sees while he's traveling in a train. You need to mention all that in 40 words, 40. Question number 4, what does the poet mean by saying charging along like troops in a battle? If you remember in the first stanza, I did mention that it meant the poet is trying to say that as the train is moving forward, he's comparing the movement of the train, the speed of the train, with with soldiers who are ready for a combat in a battle, who are ready to fight in a battle. He has compared that the speed of the train with that. So mention that and give an introduction in 65 words, 65 words. And here again, what is this type of comparison called when you are comparing one thing with the other? Um, is something that we are going to do in the writing tools later. So just keep question number 5 in the parking lot, and once I finish with the writing tools, you will be in a better position to answer that question. Question number 6 says, identify all the things that the poet sees through the window. You need to mention how he started the journey, how he mentions every scene that he sees from the window while he's sitting in his compartment in the train. You need to mention all those instances about the boy, about the homeless man, the women, everything in 75 words. Explain the simile in these lines. Again, it will come in the writer tools, and once you understand, then you can just explain those. What does he mean when he says painted stations whistle by? If you remember in the last stanza, it was about the painted stations at the railway station when the train stops by at the railway station. So you need to explain those lines in 50 words, 50 words, and quote one line which suggests that the train was moving very fast. So pick out a line which you think is describing the speed of the train. Just write that line, and that is enough. So question number 10 says, what is the child doing? If you remember, there was a boy, and he was trying to clamber, and he was trying to pick up berries. So you need to mention all that in 40 words. whenever you are trying to write an answer, always try to remember to write in context and give an introduction. If you remember, I have I did mention that in the class that everything has a rule. You call it cohesive writing when you're writing answers or anything, any format. So you start with the introduction and body, and then you end up with the conclusion or the end. So remember that when you're writing your answers. Who is a tramp and what is he doing? Question number 11. Tramp is referred to the homeless man. Probably, maybe he's a beggar, maybe he's someone who is in need of food. And what was he doing? How he was standing in surprise and awe when he was looking at the train. You mentioned that and explained it in 40 words. 40. What does green stand for? Green here, that is question number 12. Green is referred to the green pastures, the green land, the grasslands, when when the poet is traveling and what he sees from the train. So you need to mention that incident in 40 words. Question number 12. Question number 13. What do these things, different images appearing one after the other, suggest? What are these images suggesting? What are these? As I said earlier also in the first video, that there are instances where you may just avoid, I won't say avoid, but you may just ignore. You may not appreciate things that you are experiencing while you're traveling in a in a train, not only train, but in any journey that you can imagine or you have experienced. So what are these images telling about the poet? What do you understand? How is he appreciating this experience? It is a very normal train journey, but the way he has portrayed sounds very beautiful, isn't it? So you need to mention that. Tell me, what do you think about it in 40 words? 14. Question number 14 says, how does the poet express the transience of the images as he sees them from the window of the fast moving train? So just write down the line which says his experience. Is he overjoyed? Is he sad? Is he surprised by this experience when he's looking at things and these incidents? Just write that line from the poem. So section B says, make a list of all the things that he sees through the window. So you have to narrate and you need to mention all the things that he sees from the window when the train is crossing the bridges, everything in 40 words. 40. In one verse, section C, there are three verbs that tell you that the train is moving very fast. Identify them and just write that. So this is section B, C. And then section D, sorry. The poet has a certain beat or rhythm to it. Write the words that you feel ought to be stressed to bring out the rhythm. How do you think it can help in understanding of them? We can keep it in the parking lot. This is a discussion in the class. So when we meet physically, we can do that. Just remember what we need to discuss. Now, section A on page number 13 is, you have heard examples of simile in the poem. So we are going to do that after some time. So once you understand what the simile is, you need to do these sentences, complete these sentences and write it in your copy. And now page number 14, page number 15. This is a project that I want. This should be ready when we meet the next time after 31st of March. So you have time till 31st of March. It says that all of you must have undertaken the train journey. If you have not, please take help from people who have taken a train journey. Probably your family members or friends. Don't you think it will be fun to find some interesting facts about trains in India? So I have 10 questions that you have to write in your copy. When and between which places did the first train run? Which is the highest railway station in India? What is the rank of Indian Railway in the world? These are the questions henceforth till question number 10. Take help from the internet and complete it in your copy. I'll appreciate, and I do trust you, you guys, that you'll try to write these answers in your own words. Parents, it is a request, please do not spoon feed your children, and try to enhance your child's creative writing skills by letting him or her write the way she wants to. No usage of internet, and try to use and write it in simple language. Let's come back to the writing tool section or figure of speech. So if you go through your poem I have already sent a photo or of the poem also. If you go through the poem, the first thing that a poem usually asks or requires is something called rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme is something where the poet has made a deliberate effort to rhyme the last words of the lines of a poem or a song. It can happen in a song also. So one of the easiest examples that I can explain what a rhyme scheme is by Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, something that we have heard since we were babies. So, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. So, if you see that the last words, star and are rhyming, they sound similar. And then high and sky also sound similar. So, what I did is that I have put star and R in one category, let's say A, and then high and sky in one category, B. So when you are writing an example, if I'm asking you how to write a rhyming scheme, you need to write A, B. Sorry, A, 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 B, B. Why? Because they sound same. So A, A, and then B, B. And let's say, for example, the last line of the stanza is something that doesn't rhyme. Let's say the line says, Twinkle went in a car. So R, star, R, high, sky, and then car, something that rhymes with the first two lines but doesn't rhyme with high and sky. And because R, star, and car also rhyme similarly, so the last line will be A again. This is how you have to write the rhyming scheme.